Lui Progreso y gracias a la misericordia. This is Sancista Brujo Luis, and I'm doing a video today because I'm making some cocos para consultar for one of my ahijados, and I didn't show you the process of how I made these cocos. If you are a palero or a sancista, and some santeros also use, well, of course they do use this. These are used to consult with Papa Legba or un Eleggua, or in Sanse, where we say la división o los misterios de los lebanes and your dead, your ancestors. So I prepared these cocos. Okay, and what I like to do is I like to give when I crown a new sancista so that he can communicate with his legba and with his ancestors or with his sanse, los cocos. Okay, we don't use these to consult with any client. We just use these when we are trabajando los muertos or los seres and we're giving them offerings. We like to make sure that they're happy, that they're content, and this is how we get our answers. Okay, so first of all, I want you to notice the lovely mat right here, which is made by Tata Robert and Alex Güldbeck, and I'll be doing some future videos on like readings, forecasts for the weeks, and I'll be using this cloth. And I know that Tata Rob is also working on making future cloths, and we'll get that out to you. I'm just trying to still figure out the information, but basically this is just a video on how I prepare los caracoles, not los caracoles, los coco for an ahijado. So right here I have two sets. Okay, and they are made out of coconuts. And you're gonna see that there's two sets of 8. Sorry, this is not easy. 2 sets of 8, but traditionally, we like to give, sorry about that. So traditionally, we like to give 7. There's 2 sets right here, and I've got 2 sets of 8, but traditionally, we give 7 cocos to an ahijado who is crowned or coronado en los Sanse. These are not used for divination for anybody, but to communicating with your own legba and with your own spirits, or when you're working a client, like let's say a bath, and you want to make sure that all the ingredients are all set. Okay, so usually we give 7, represent los 7 jefes of your nación, your jefes of your Sanse, and 3 are often placed aside as payment to Papa Legba, and 4 are used to read. Okay, so yeah, I came out with 8 on each, but it's all right. So anyways, I like to prepare these. I like to definitely prepare them, and how I prepare them is, as you can see, I'm giving them offerings like Papa Legba or Eleggua or La División Lebane. They love their coffee, they love their tobacco, they love their light, their agüita, agua, and all that. Often I place it in a bag of saco. Okay. Anyways, I like to prepare them, paint them. Some people I give them. I don't really give this to so many people because it's very rare that I've crowned anybody in Sanse. Most people who come to me usually just get their cuadro espiritual, or they receive puntos espirituales, a bautismo espiritual, and then they go off to become a palero or a santero, and then some do get crowned in los Sanse. So anyways, when they do get crowned in los Sanse, this is what they use to communicate with their legba, their messenger, their mensajero of their seres, their Sanse. And we do not use this for communicating for clients. We don't use this to divine for anybody. We just use this basically or mostly to communicate with our own spirits, with our own espiritu, to make sure that everything is good, everything's well balanced. Is the offering accepted? Okay, so usually I just give them like this, or I like to paint them. And what I like to do is paint them a dark brown on one side, and then a light white on another side. And what I use is, I don't know if you can see here, I like to use, I have a bag of all the paints that I use, and right here I'm just using basically acrylic, just acrylic paint. Okay, and I'm not going to use this mat. I just wanted to show you this mat because I'm going to use this mat in future weekly forecast readings. I'm not sure if I'm going to use the bones or the cards with the mat. I'm still working on that, but anyways, That's for a future video. So I'm going to show you how I like to paint them for an ahijado. Some people like to use caracoles, place a caracol there. Some people just like them like that. Some sancistas use these, some sancistas don't. Some sancistas just use las cartas, la baraja española. Some communicate with the spirit through mounting, through mounting. But these are good when it comes to consulting. Like if you're preparing a bath for a client, make sure that the right herbs, that the spirits are accepting the right herbs. Is the offering be accepted? Is there something else that needs to be done? Etc., etc., etc. Okay, so before I do start painting them, I just wanted you to see what they look like on the opposite side of the coconut after they're shaved and cleaned up. And this is the inside of the coconut, what it looks like inside of the coconut. Usually we use 4, like I said earlier, but I give 7 for los 7 jefes of a person's cuadro espiritual when they become crowned. I'm not going to show you how I read this in this video. I'm just showing you how I prepare them for my ahijados and all that. Again, the mat is made by Tata Robert and Alex Güldbeck. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. And I'll be doing future videos on how, probably readings on forecasts with los cocos, not the cocos, I'm sorry, with either los huesos, the bones, or with cartas. And this is done by Tata Robert. We're gonna try to get it out to you guys. They're working on mats. I'll be doing weekly forecasts on that. I'm gonna paint these up for un ahijado that's gonna be crowned in Los Sanse. I'm not gonna be using these for readings. I'm just showing you, that. But anyways, this is a mat that we use, or that Tata Robert sent to me as a gift, and he sent me another one, that we'll be using for future readings on my YouTube channel for a weekly forecast. So this is made by Tata Robert and Alex Güldbeck. I want to say that name. I'm sorry if I said that wrong, but I'll be doing future videos on that. I'm gonna start painting these and show you what they look like. Traditionally, a lot of people don't like them painted, but some do like them painted, and I'm just gonna paint these just so you can see what they look like when they're painted. Again, I'm gonna use just pretty much acrylic paint from my little bag of all the paints that I have. You can see they're all messy. I use a lot of paint and a lot of things, but I'm just basically gonna use just acrylic paints to paint these. Some people like them plain, some people don't. Some Sancistas use them, some Sancistas don't. Some Sancistas are also, they receive, they're scratched in Palo, or they receive, of course, many Sancistas are crowned in Santeria. Some have received Canzo in Haitian Voodoo, Mario Lonceros, many different traditions. And these, again, are only used for personal divination with your personal spirits. Are they happy? Are they content? Especially your Legba and your ancestors. When you're making a bath for a client, is there anything else that's needed? Is the ceremony, if I'm doing a servicio, or let's say I'm doing an offering in nature, are they accepting the servicio? Are they happy? Is there something missing? Okay, I'm not going to show you how to read that in the video, but I'm just, basically showing you that. Okay, so if you see right now, I painted them white. You can see I got paint in my fingers. I painted them white to mimic the meat of the coconut, okay? I'm gonna let them dry, and then I'm gonna turn them over and paint them brown. I'm gonna use probably this dark brown. You can see I'm painting them on this mat. I removed the mat that I'm going to use for reading the bones, but I removed the mat because I didn't want to get no paint on it, and I put it on a fiber, a mat anyways, and I painted them to represent white, the coconut meat, clarity. These, please do not ask me to make them to sell. I'm not selling these. These are only for people who receive Sanse. They are also used, of course, in Santeria and in Palo Mayombe. Palo Mayombe to speak to Legba and to your dead, to your ancestors. I do not sell these, so please don't email me or message me to sell them or to teach you how to read them. It's not what it's all about. I'm just showing you how we do it in Sanse, how we paint them. And right now I'm just gonna let them dry off, and then I'm gonna probably turn them over and paint it a dark brown. I'm probably gonna choose this brown, I'm not sure. That brown or this brown. But anyways, we'll see. But anyways, okay, so I'm gonna let these dry off and then paint the other side, the brown side. Okay, so right here you can see that I painted some, and then this is just the natural color, and this is the painted side. In Espiritismo, in Sanse, in Voodoo, in Santeria, we always have a mensajero, a portero. We always have to salute him first, because without him, the doors will not open for us. We know him as Elegbara, Papa Legba, Eshu, in different traditions. Eleggua, okay? In Espiritismo, you have San Antonio, San Pedro, or San Hilarion, who is the spirit that opens the doors for los muertos, los seres. Okay, so there are certain ways that we salute them, whether it's by making the sign of the cross, the crossroads, or by knocking upon the altar 3 times, to get the attention of that spirit to open the doorways for the ancestors, for the spirits. And then we usually have a spirit that lights the way, Santa Claribel, Mama Isan. But anyways, that's going off topic. This is what they look like painted, and this is what they look like not painted. So I'm just gonna finish painting them, and I'm probably gonna add a red rim to it and let them dry. Okay, the other side is white. You can see some of the whites coming off on that side right there. But this is what they're looking like. Again, this is just painted. They're still drying, and this is what they look like non-painted. Okay. Again, we always have a portero, a mensajero, that spirit that opens and closes the door. Elegbara, Papa Legba, Eleggua, San Hilarion, depending on the tradition, Eshu, okay? Eleggua, okay, depending again on the tradition. A portero, mensajero. Okay, so here are the coconuts. They are dried. You can see they are completely dried. Took me all day to do, probably do another paint job. Okay, but they are pretty much dried. I tried to add a red paint to it, but it was going on the other side, so I said I'm just gonna leave it like that. But anyways, these are the basic patterns that you're gonna see when you read El Coco, and they all have a name. So these are the basic patterns. There's one pattern that's missing here, which I'll show you in a minute. But this one right here, that first pattern is Alafia. Okay, the second pattern right here is Itagua. Right here you see a Jefe, and here you see Okana. And if it comes out like this is Oyekun. Okay, so Alafia, Itagua, Ejife, which is Balancia, Okana, and Oyekun. Okay, so here are the 7 that usually I give to my ahijados when they get crowned to speak with their spirits. And like I said, we only use 4 to speak with the spirits. And then we take 3, I just dropped one. We take 3 and we place it aside as payment, as derecho. Okay, now even though this represents a pattern, it represents a sign, all the patterns also represent, let's say, a certain energy of a spirit. So this is an energy of a spirit, okay? It has a spirit that speaks under this, and of course that means something. Same energy of the same spirit, but a different meaning, as it would be this way, as it would be this way, and of course as it would be that way. Same spirit, but a different energy. The same with this. Let's say this comes out. Okay, these are payments over here. So right here, this is speaking a spirit, certain spirit, or a certain emisario, Sanse, or a muerto of this energy, of this spirit. And this is a letter. This, of course, means something. Same spirit, but a different interpretation of it, as it would be this, and of course, that. Okay, Again, let's do one more. Think of one real quick. All right, we'll do this. This is a certain spirit. Come speaking through this pattern. This pattern means something, as this would be totally something else with this same spirit. This, again, this, and this. And then sometimes you'll get this, like that, where two above one. That's a different pattern. That means something totally different, as that would be something different, as that would be something different. Okay. All right, so this is what I give to my ahijados, and we don't cast it on this mat. This mat was given to me by this mat was given to me by Tata Rob. Okay, so we do not cast the caracoles on this mat. We would cast it on fiber like this. Okay. Okay, so here are the shells, and like I said, we only use 3 to divine, and you can only use them to speak if you have received Eshu, Elegbara, Elegua. Okay, and this is where we use to communicate with Papa Elegbara, Eshu, or El Muerto, a Sanse, el emisario of the misterios, of the Orisha, of the Nago, okay, and of the spirits of the Rada. This is what we use, los Sanse, okay. Through this, Elegba, Papa Legba, Elegbara, helps us communicate with our spirits, and you can only use it if you received the ceremony de los guerreros, or if you receive Sanse and you receive un Legba de la división de los Lebanes.